Hello YouTube, Nalynna here, and I am back with a speed build for the worlds of the Magic Realm. I don't remember what it's called at all, but this house is supposed to be for the family that I keep on mentioning over a few videos, that I have like a witch child who was mutated into a witch because of a potion or science experiment that he did. And so this is going to be the house that they're going to live in. I've been thinking a lot about their story and just bringing them to life. Actually, making this build this is not like the original build that they lived in, but because we have Realm of Magic, and I just thought I would kind of explore something that they might have experienced just a little bit differently. So I really want to play their story, and I really wanted to make them a new house to live in, because they traditionally would have lived in like Willow Creek instead of like anywhere else, because they were in The Sims 3 that I created them, or the Legacy family that I had created was in The Sims 3, and they just kind of mutated as we got more and more packs for the game. So I wanted to make the house. I really want to play it. I really think I want to try to do a let's play with them. I know there's like, I don't know what's actually going on in the Sims realm right now as far as people's let's plays, but I want to do this. So that's what I'm going to do. Basically, so that's what I want to do. I want to explore their stories. I've been thinking a little bit differently, a little bit more about them, and it's just because I'm at home right now. I am not working currently because we have been sent home. So I just want to keep myself busy, and I've really been wanting to write lately. I haven't really written anything in some time, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, I go through these phases where I just like, I either want to draw a lot, or I want to play a lot, or I want to write, and then I just, whenever I'm doing one of the other things, I completely abandoned the other thing that I'm doing. But so I started kind of drafting out what it was I wanted to happen for these Sims, and I realized that I really don't know what it is that I want for them or where I see them going. Um, there was kind of like this one little weird idea that I had. It was like stuck in my mind, and I'm just like, you know what? That can't be like the whole entirety of what the story is about. Like, I need it to be something more. So I'm just going to try to explore that a little bit more. With the family moving into this house, there's gonna be a butler that I'm gonna introduce into the house, and he, even though it was supposed to be like the older brother taking care of the sister, it's still gonna be that, except that we're gonna have the butler when they move into this house, and he's gonna kind of be a guiding force to the older brother, who is not a very good guardian. Like, he doesn't know what to do about the situation with his sister. He's dealing with a lot of guilt. So I just kind of want to explore them a little bit more and see where I where it goes, just what's gonna happen with them. So for the build part, I probably didn't even say too much about the characters, probably because I'm actually just like a little bit lost and stuck myself. But I do want to explore this, and I feel like when I game and I play, I can kind of figure that out a little bit more easily, because I kind of have some things to do and just like ideas come. So I'm gonna play and to figure that out. Don't know if I'm gonna write anything, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? So anyway, let's get back to the build. This is actually the second time I built on this lot. The other builds, the initial house that I was making for them, seemed to be more suitable for Oasis Springs, because it was kind of in that like Spanish style that they have going on over there in most of their like mansion houses. And so that build was actually, I didn't feel like landscaping, so that build took up most of the grass area, most of the lands, and I was just like, yay, I don't have to do it. But then when I looked at it, it totally stuck out it did not fit this place. So I saved it to my library and it's sitting in my library. It's completely built. I don't think there's wallpaper anywhere. There's no floral, no landscaping. The interior, I don't think I didn't do that either. I just kind of did the exterior with like these little patio places and things like that, and it's in my library. I need to get back to it. So one more thing to get back to because I have so many. Um, but then I was like, no, that's not what I want. I really want it. And then I thought about the goth house. And I'm like, yeah, something a little bit more like that, except like it wouldn't fit the same way and I didn't want to like replicate that house even though I should have just like kicked them out and took it over. That would have made my life so much easier. Could just put it here. But anyway, I did decide to build it, and there's this house that I see every time I drive to my uncle's house and I always look for it. It is this kind of like Victorian-esque house, and it's a brick house, and it's like narrow in the front, but it's very long in the back. So I wasn't able to do the same thing here because of the way that the plot of land is. So instead of going long towards the back, we kind of went long sideways, which kind of distorts the way I wanted the house to look. I mean, I guess I could have brought the front of the house a little bit more forward, but I really wanted to play with the this kind of like landscaping thing where you like pull up the, I forget what it's called, the terrain tool. I wanted to use the terrain tool, so that's what I that's what I did. And I think it kind of helped me out a little bit. I wanted to use that more. That thing confuses me. I don't know how to use it. I hate that the color of the dirt changes to like that bright green. I'm like, I can't see what's happening to the floor, and I don't know if we can like change it so that it's lighter or turn it off or something. I honestly haven't checked, but I'm just like, I can't see what's happening because the green color is like just, I don't know, I feel like it's detached somehow. I can't deal with it. But that's a me thing. That's a me thing. So yeah, many people have figured it out. It gives me like stress. So yeah. So another thing about this house is that I really had like an idea of how I wanted the stone to look. I did know that I wanted the house to be very dark, because they kind of move into this home in a very dark time of their life. So they're just kind of like drawn to that like kind of gloomy darkness. It ends up being a lot more vibrant than I had intended, but I think I made some pretty good choices as far as where I had to settle. Because you can't just be sitting in there all dark and stuff, especially not when you're living with this extra person in here, which is going to be the butler. So I kind of I went with the choices that I felt were the closest to what I was trying to achieve, and just also just the aesthetic, like the look that I was going for, because I did want it to be very traditional looking and like wallpapers everywhere and just like the colors inside. So I had to cut this part out, which was me going through and choosing the wallpaper or like the brick or the stone for the outside. I probably was doing that for about a good hour because it's like we have these darks that are like really weird black, and then we have these darks that are like gray. And I don't know, I kind of wanted like a charcoal color and I couldn't find one. And I mean, I'm really not complaining about that. I understand the way the game looks and that those things may match a little bit. For the most part, like they're meant to go with the graphic, but I just like I was like, ah, again, I'm always I feel like I can never find the thing that I'm looking for, and it's so bad because I should be working with what I have in the game, but I'm always hoping that the game will work for me, which is like kind of backwards. But anyway, yeah. So, um, I lost my train of thought again. Why does this always happen to me? So yeah, I totally cut that part out. This video was about to be like an hour long, and I was like, oh no, like you cannot be trying to take an hour of people's lives. Like, don't do that. So that whole part got completely cut out, and I had settled for this kind of like brick with this black outline across the roof, like a molding, which was really cool. Another thing was that I had found, I don't know what the attachment is called, when you have like these tall buildings and you put like, it's a molding that goes on the outside. It usually follows like your patio, the floor thing. It's like, or your fence, it like follows the structure or the space of that. And there was a nice green one that I found, and I really wanted to put it on the outside of the house. I could not find a matching green to that green. I believe that was from the Vampire Pact, which again for this build, I only used Vampire, Magic Realm, Get Together, and Strangerville because I feel like they have items that are kind of similar and that you can really like mess around with together. So there was a green, but the green was not consistent in any of the other items. Maybe like one other item, and I was just sitting here like, ah, like I wanted more of that green. And it was from the Vampire Stuff Pack. It's like this really nice, I call it emerald green. I've seen it called like juniper green, and like it's not an olive. It's much more vibrant, and it's not so like quiet. It's like, and it's not loud either. It's really nice. Maybe like a hunter kind of green, or like a Christmassy kind of green. But anyway, I was like obsessed with the green, and that was another thing that slowed me down. The roof on this house is mismatched because I couldn't well, for two reasons. I was trying to match the roof at least with that kind of green, but we don't have that kind of green for the roof. We have like, and the roof colors are like so weird, and I don't know if it has to do with like the lighting in the game, where it's like it's receiving more light directly from the top, so maybe that's why it's always much lighter. I don't know. I don't understand. I couldn't find anything. No wallpapers, no roof colors, no windows. So I was just like, I had to give it up and surrender it and put the molding on the outside of the house black. um, Another thing that I wanted to mention is that in the furnishing, which we're getting to now, um, you're going to see that it's very incomplete. And what I mean by that is that I'm not going to fully furnish the interior on the video because I was trying to get the main things down. So you're going to see I'm not going to have a sink in the kitchen for a while, but those are going to be in the screenshot. So if you just want to skip to the screenshots, that's totally fine. Go for it. But yeah, there were like base game items that I did not put in currently. So there's no picture frames. There's no clutter items. All of that gets put in after, but because I was trying to make the video a decent length, like there were some things that I really just had to like cut out and just kind of decide that I was not going to include them right now. I don't know if that's gonna like make the video like worse. I don't, like, maybe people want to see all those like little things. I know they can get very tedious, especially when the way that I play, because I move the camera around way too much. I'm really trying to stop moving it around and like twirling and just making people dizzy. So I do it because I want to see the whole room and kind of like see how it's fitting together, make sure the sim is going to get around. It's so funny because I was talking about making sure that your Sims can get around in the game, and then I was looking at one of my builds where I'm like, you're probably going to have to move some stuff around because this is a tiny, tight house. But you won't have to move anything around if your Sim lives there by themselves. So it's going to function unless you have pets, and specifically dogs. Then it's going to be a problem. There's plenty of space in this house. There were a few items that I used move object cheat for, and that was an accident because I was actually looking at a build my cousin had done, and we were trying to figure out her roof situation. She did this pretty cool build where it was like a rectangle shape, and it was for a mini house. the tiny house build. It was a tiny house build challenge that she did. So I was looking at the roof for that and just trying to figure it out because we kind of like tag team each other's builds where it's like, well, hey, I need to figure this out. And so it's just for someone to get a like extra different perspective on it. So I had turned it on for that, and then I came over here and I realized that I was putting things in that should not be like well, typically wouldn't sit next to each other. I don't think it should be a problem if the build gets downloaded. It should be fine because it's just like clutter items that would like sit next to each other. I feel like they should sit next to each other. I don't feel like just because the grid, like you see how this is like overlapping, it's over the rug and they're able to cross. I feel like the clutter item should have that kind of intersection like allowed. And curtains too, like curtains shouldn't be a thing that are in the way and that you have to stop and like move things around or just surrender the curtains completely just because you're trying to make sure that your couch fits in there without a problem, or even your lamp. Like certain items should be like that, like the rugs, that you can just overlap them. And I think that that's a solution for the clutter items. They should just be allowed to overlap each other at least. Not to say that I want two couches like sitting on each other, just like certain items that don't need to be taking up as much room. So here we are in the living room space. And I put the green in here. This is not the green that I was talking about. But I had my heart set on having green in this build. Like this build was gonna be dark rooms. Red was like the next darkest color where it wasn't gonna be like super bright. And then I was just like feeling this green, so I kind of went more like this minty green that they have, which is, or maybe I don't even know. That's not a mint green because it's not bright. It's like super dull and like muted. But yeah, see, there you go. I have on the, oh no, actually that fit there. That's not move objects. That fit there perfectly fine. The move object stuff you don't see because I didn't put any of the clutter anywhere. So we're moving around slowly, just seeing where things fit. This living room was actually intended to be way bigger, but because I did add the office and I was already thinking that I wanted to have the butler come in so that they can have an adult in the house, because the boy is only a teenager. I don't know if we're allowed to have teenagers living on their own, but he's a teenager, and then his sister was a child. So I think I want to continue their story as in he's like a young adult and then she's a teenager. And so at that point they're already living here, and the butler is just kind of trying to guide them both. So that's kind of where I was thinking. I feel like his role is not gonna be like too in their face, but again, maybe also he will still definitely like influence the both of them in like their behaviors and in the things they're gonna do and stuff like that. So yeah. So again, another thing is that this space is kind of weird to me because I have like that little hallway area, and I kept wanting to fill it up. Whoops. Kept wanting to fill it up with something. I did put the bar there, and then when I was reviewing the build and editing it, I realized that I wanted, or that I should have put a piano in the house. I feel like it could have gone pretty well in this corner, or I could have moved over that games table to the center here and then put the piano in the corner instead of having like that sitting area. I don't know if that's something you would like to do if your son wants to play. I kind of wanted the organ, like the big one in Vampire Stuff Pack, just because I don't know, maybe the brother plays the organ keyboard, piano, and he's like just being dramatic and gloomy and stuff like that. Like he's just really messed up in the head, and I hope that we can get him to a place of stability as we walk through their journey. But that's what I was just kind of, I thought about that after the fact. And I was like, that would have helped the space out so much better. My bad though, because I wasn't truly thinking at the time about things like that, like activities and stuff. I was trying to basically put down the main furniture. And I mean, maybe I could still change it. I think I already uploaded that build. Um, I may have already uploaded the build just yesterday, actually, because this build took me about 2 days to finish. The first day, actually, in fact, I completed most of the furnishing and the build. It took me about 8ish hours. And then the second part, which I didn't record any of it because I already knew this first part was going to be so long, I had, what you call it? I put in like the clutter items and finished actually the brother's bedroom because I was like, big spaces, and I feel like I need to fill them up, which I don't. And then with little spaces, I'm trying to make them spacious. Like, I'm a hot mess over here. It's just confusing. And I'm sorry if I'm confusing you. But, yeah. So you're going to see a lot more of what they look like in the screenshots, which should be coming up fairly soon. Um, Bathrooms are pretty basic. I wanted to mention there are no like real lights in the house. There's only candles, just to kind of help set the mood of like this gloom and doom and like dark space. Um, I don't know if I want the girl to be like in a better mood than her brother is. I kind of always thought she was gonna struggle with her magic, but the more I thought about it, I feel like she's just gonna actually have a handle on it. So I tried something different here with the cabinets and the countertops, and I just kind of wanted to put them together because this bathroom was so big. But then I wasn't sure that I could fit the toilet. Oh no, the toilet's there. Did I put a tub in here? I wanted to put a tub in here, but then I checked for the showers and I saw that one, so I ended up putting a regular shower. Oh, darn it. Did I leave it like this? No, I totally moved it around. Okay, anyway, here are the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!